President-elect Donald Trump's pick of Kash Patel tapped to lead the FBI. It's going to pave the way for current FBI Director Christopher Wray, who announced his plan to resign at the end of the Biden term in January. Now, reacting to that announcement on social media, Donald Trump called it a great day for America and said Patel is the most qualified nominee to lead the agency, the FBI, in history. Wray is just 3 years short of his 10-year term. So let's go live to our nation's capital right now and CBS News political reporter Torian Small. Torian, how will this announcement impact Kash Patel's confirmation journey and process?
Well, Wray did this at a time where his replacement happened to be on the Hill interviewing for his job. Wray said during a town hall with the FBI that he was looking to keep the focus on the mission of the Bureau. He didn't explicitly say this, but it looks like he was looking to avoid a very public spat with the incoming president. This is really reminiscent to 2017. James Comey, his predecessor, was at odds with President Trump. Then he was, to put it nicely, publicly dismissed from his duties, which led to the nomination of Wray. So he was looking at two options here, either resign or be fired, like we saw happen with Comey in 2017. Republicans on the Hill, though, are supporting this because they feel like the FBI has been weaponized. So we're seeing a much quicker corralling around Patel versus the more controversial picks.
All right, I want to talk about Pete Hegseth. Once again, we find ourselves seeing him in the headlines, but today's interesting. He's reliably been meeting with Republican senators, but today he changed that. He met with Democratic Senator John Fetterman. What can you tell us about that meeting? Is that a strategy shift?
Yeah, Reed, initially this was a meeting set for the next round of Republican senators, including Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who did, after meeting with him today, say that he's going to lend his support for Hegseth's nomination. But the inclusion of Fetterman is an interesting one. This makes the first time Hegseth will meet with a Democrat. And on top of that, Fetterman is a pretty interesting person when it comes to his public comments on Trump's cabinet picks. He's been trolling them, mocking their credentials for a while now, but when it comes to this specific meeting, he says he's open to dialogue. We're also seeing a softening among Democrats, not necessarily for Hegseth, but for some of Trump's other announced nominees. We saw Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, as well as Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, say that they will be supporting Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. We caught John Ossoff, Georgia senator, in the hallway, and he says he's open to giving Trump's nominees a fair shake. That, again, doesn't necessarily apply to Hegseth, but it is at least a softening from Democrats here on the Hill.
All right, so we also want to ask you about the Capitol Police Chief discussing security threats targeting elected officials. Stay with us. We want to let our viewers hear what he had to say, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Who knew that threats would go through the roof, the number of threats? Who knew that the tactics that folks that want to disrupt the lives and disrupt the work of members of Congress would do, would result in people, having, 50 people swatted in the last month, had people disturbed in the middle of the night in their homes because there's people out banging on pots and pans, and just the heightened threat level in this country has not gone down.
So Chief J. Thomas Manger there, more than 50 swatting attacks in the past month, Torian. What is a swatting attack and how big of a threat is this?
Well, Reed, swatting is the illegal but most importantly dangerous scheme of making false emergency calls in the hopes of dispatching SWAT teams to target homes and, in this case, politicians. What's disturbing about this is, for example, just a few days ago, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia was the target of a fake bomb threat. The police officers who responded, one in particular, got into a fatal crash with a woman in her town. She was pronounced dead upon arrival to the hospital. But Marjorie Taylor Greene commented on this in a social media post. She said she was heartsick around this incident, and she warned again just how dangerous this is, saying that these political threats have fatal consequences. So it's a very scary situation, and the frequency in which it's happening to politicians is obviously causing pause for the chief there.
Right, unless anybody think that these swatting calls are coming from within our own borders, there is some reporting today that at least where Marjorie Taylor Greene's call and that bomb threat is concerned, it was traced back to a Russian IP address. So this could be a very wide problem for them to chase down. Torian Small, thank you so much for that conversation. Always great to have you on CBS News 24/7, my friend.